One and all, well, two-time, and it's already the fourth race of the season. It's season 9, and it's all of course, the UAE, a track which we all know is boring as hell when it comes to an actual race, unless something lively happens. And just to make this that little bit more lively, I've got a new member of the commentary team here to join me tonight. Some of you may have heard of him, some may not, but as Toby. Toby, welcome. How are you doing? Brilliant. Indeed. So, tell us a quick little bit about yourself whilst we're waiting for some cars to come on track. IKEA? Oh, I love IKEA. Oh, of course. Oh, one sec, Toby. Apparently, your audio is not working. Right. Hold on. If you double check. Hold on. Anyway, whilst Toby sorts out his internet, we'll sort this out quickly. We are, of course, as you said, on the fourth race of what is already a very exciting season. Abu Dhabi is a very fun track if you like racing, but it causes a few boring races based upon recent events, with the exclusion of last season, which was exciting but disappointing depending on who you support. So, Toby, is your mic working now? Okay, I mean, I can hear you. I'm not sure other people can hear you. This is alarming. Matthew Sullivan, Connor Hardy, if you can hear Toby, let us know, please. Toby, say hello.
And now they can hear me. They should probably...
Okay, apparently not, right. Apparently not, okay.
But I just changed it, so if they can hear me now...
Oh, no, we can now. Mike says yes, fantastic.
Perfect.
Hooray! Technical issues do not get past the boys and girls of MRC. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Right, so Tom Brown is on a lap. Toby, whilst Tom's on a lap, if you could just tell us a quick bit about yourself. Welcome to MRC. Tell us a quick bit about yourself.
My name is Toby. I am from Sweden, land of IKEA, of course. I like to play F1, watch F1, play football, watch football, especially now the World Cup is on. Yeah, I love talking, so this should be good.
Perfect. You're perfect for the role. We're just on a lap here with Tom Brown and the Alpha Tauri. He's one of the first cars to get out on track. The first car was a Red Bull, and I don't like Red Bull personally, so we've neglected to look at them. No, I'm no joking. We'll look at them later. Connors says you're MRC's Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I tell you what, he's one of my favourite Swedes of all time. So, yes, you can be my Zlatan.
That's very nice. You can be my Helena, which is his wife.
Oh, you know his wife. Do you know her personally?
I don't. Unfortunately. I would love to know the Zlatan family.
Of course. So, Abu Dhabi. Is this a track you like, or is it a track you don't like?
It's a mixed feelings track. Sector 3 is one of my worst ones ever. But Sector 1 and 2 is decent. What about you, Chris?
I completely agree. I think the final section is just messy. But, we've already got 3 laps within the 125 region, so quite clearly some people are enjoying this track. So we've got a new racer called Doris, which I'm going to call Doris. Dinner Lady Doris in the Alfa Romeo standing in as reserve. Tom Brown, Gastian, Dumbest Hornet, Gene Genie, and Cover the Brave of the lap. Let's actually get the fastest laps up. So look at that. So many drivers are in the 25s. Incredible. Fanning on 26.0 is close in range there. RS10, he's on a medium, so I'm sure he'll come in good later. Wow. Who can we find on a lap that's about to start a lap that we can run through? Simba is just going to the end of a lap. What's in the Ferrari man with Sebastian Vettel helmet, actually? Tops of 26.4. Who can we find? Let's have a look. Rumax, if you jump up on Rumax, do you want to talk us through a lap of the Yas Marina circuit?
Absolutely. So we go over the start-finish line. around turn 1 with 4th gear. So you can take turn 2 and be very nicely flat hairpin. Start of sector 2. Need to get on the power early here, otherwise you can lose a lot of tenths. DRS open. DRS fully going.
A lot of high speed here.
The chicane, sorry. See what he can do, if he can get a good exit. Okay, 4th gear, full power. Very good exit from him. Let's see what the spin's gonna be coming up to the end of sector 2. It's gonna be a solid 53.899 with the purple sector 2. To the blue. The long right-hander. To the Latifi.
Latifi left.
Latifi left, what do you call it?
Yeah.
Let's see, second to last corner, can he get good traction? Taking a bit cautiously, down to 3rd gear for the rotation, 4th gear. Lands his foot, 25.7.
Good lap. A lot of 25s. Wow.
A lot, yeah, no one's in the point 24 yet.
Not yet. I'm sure we'll get that.
I would think so, with the quality we have in these drivers.
Oh, definitely. So we briefly mentioned it there about the Lorpy Loop, for example, and the Latifi left. We have named a few of the corners. We know they have names. Just like all of our lovely drivers have nicknames, we have nicknamed some corners. So Simba's currently coming up to the hairpin, which I'm calling them Hamilton's Rob Championship hairpin, because it was robbed. So manipulated. Hodgie's currently going through turn 3, aka Bergen Bends. I've renamed it after my beloved teammate because he cannot make it round there without a cheeky spin. Fajay Roos is coming through the Rambo right of the final corner. Rambo right.
It's 26.124.
Indeedy.
P14 as a banker.
Not bad at all. Always good to get a time on the board to see where you are. Mornis is currently in Latifi left, of course, hailing to Latifi's fossil job rear end crash last year, 2021.
Let's see what Stu can do.
Stu Malicious, where is he? In the Williams, the beautiful Williams, coming into the final corner.
Let's see what he can do as a banker.
Cracking laps. P6 for the Williams. I think under the lights, a lot of these liveries look great. Has he? Hodgie, no!
His flying lap around the Lorpy Loop.
The Lorpy Loop, the long left-hander at the end of the second sector. I'm calling it the Lorpy Loop. Hoseman with a, wow, 25-0 in the Mercedes-Benz.
In the 24s.
We've got a Mercedes 1-2 right now. Are we in Brazil? Because Mercedes 1-2? Are we in 2019?
It's going to be interesting. Doris is on a lap right now as well.
He is. Let's see where Doris can go.
Never mind, it's
Let's stay on board with him. The Alfa Romeo. Again, we said this is one of our new guys, one of our reserves. So, of course, if you want to join in and get involved in the Discord, get involved with racing in MRC, please give us a message, give us a little hello, say what your intentions are. We'll have a look at getting you in some races. Doris is 4 attempts up nearly in the first sector. Cracking start to the lap. He looks to be a real prospect in the league. This lap is looking like it could be a pole position lap in theory. Flies down the straight.
Gattian is very good on it.
Gattian, I'll tell you what. Gattian, since dropping down from tier 1 to tier 2, has looked rather quick. He definitely wants that tier 1 spot back. Back on board with Doris though as he heads towards the Lorpy Loop. Ooh, he's lost a tenth in the middle sector from where he was in the first, but he's still up on his time. This is still a good lap. Into what I'm calling the single track slingshot. It's a triple right-hander into a heavy brake zone, which then comes under the hotel. We need to think of a name for the under the hotel section before the Latifi left. We need to think of a name for that one.
Yeah.
25-0!
I also saw that Gattian had a spin coming out of the chicane between the two straights.
Ah, no.
So that will be his flying lap. Lap instead.
We noticed, I've just seen Genie, Single Track, Simba have all got the exact same helmet, by the way, which is the Sebastian Vettel inspired white with the German flag on it. They've all got the identical helmet. Oh, and Carl Edens as well in the Haasmobile. All four of them have a Sebastian Vettel tribute. Now, the irony here is that the cars which had a Sebastian Vettel tribute were Ferrari, Aston, and Haas cars.
Yeah.
Well, they're all in Ferrari, Haas, and Astons. Just a small coincidence for you. Anyway, we're on board with the man, the myth, the legend, Bitty Smalls. McBitty. He's in turn 1 at the moment, heading into turn 2 before the beloved Bergen bends at turn 3. Bergen's going to absolutely kill me for this, but you know, we love him really. So, Carl, an 18.0 first sector, respectable time. He hasn't currently got a time on the board, so we don't know his delta, because he doesn't have one. Connection issues for Foxworth Road, hopefully he gets back in the session quickly. Fingers crossed all is okay. McBitty's got his flat nice and open, wide open, gaping flat for us to see. As he heads down towards what is a tricky, clumsy chicane. I hate this corner, and Bit does too, as he's gone very deep. Very awkward. It is monster 24/7. 3,000s ahead of Tommy Brown. I'll tell you what, Andrew, he's had a few hit and miss races this season, but he's looking hungry as ever today to put that right and get the season underway. Right. Another cracking lap. These lap times are dropping. Bit is now in the final sector. Where can he put the Haas? Final 2 corners are coming now. Bit comes through. He's just a bit wide off the apex. Keeps it within track limits though. That's a 26.7, so it's a banker lap. He will improve, I'm sure. Right.
Do you think we will see a 23 in
In
Tier 2?
Tier 2? No. In Tier 1, definitely.
Yeah.
I happen to know that certain Mr. Sargent yesterday did a 23.9 in a little post-practice session that a few of us were in. Single Track actually did a 24.3 in that session. His current best time is a 25.3, so I'm not sure if the track conditions are somewhat less than optimal, but I do know Single Track in particular has more in the bank. I'm sure other drivers too, but I personally witnessed him with that lap yesterday. Speaking of drivers that have something in the bank, Mark Hodgson has just put a time in finally. His first lap of the day is a 24.8.
Very good banker.
That's a cracking lap from the Hodge.
Let's see what Fire J Rooster can have coming out of the last corner now. 24, 25, P12.
Oh, I just missed him, damn it. Where is he?
25.49.
Fire Rooster, the other Haas driver. Indeed. Right, who's on track? Calvin. We're not looking at Calvin. He's got like an Iron Man looking helmet there.
He does.
I'm going to claim it's Iron Man. So, I don't know about you, Toby, but I think under the lights, a lot of these cars, liveries just come alive. Like the McLaren looks amazing. The Aston looks really good.
Yes, I do agree.
What's your favourite livery under the lights? That's the Abu Dhabi.
Ooh, that's a very, very good question, you know. One of my favorites under these lights is the one I'm watching right now, and that is Kelvin's Red Bull.
Oh, what? Oh, Toby, it was all going so well.
I am a Mercedes fan through and through, but that livery is one of the best this season.
It's clean, I'll give him that. It's clean, and the matte finish on it looks great.
Yeah.
90% of the time. Anyway, that's enough talk about the Red Bull. We have the French baton that is driven by our favourite Scouser, Fanning. Thomas Fanning, coming out of the tunnel section. We haven't mentioned the tunnel for the pit exit, which Martin Brundle claimed back in 2009, the first hosting of this race, would be the cause of chaos, calamity, drama, and red flags. And it hasn't once been a problem.
Very true.
Not once, and yet all of our commentators in real life, F1 on Sky, BBC, Channel 4, ITV, Channel 20 million, whatever they are, have all said it will be a problem, and it's never once been a problem.
Yeah.
So, who is on a lap that we can look at? Everyone's on an out lap, apart from Doris is not on a lap, he's on a cooldown. So no one's on a lap. So what is your favourite other than the Red Bull? Because I can't have that.
Okay, I will have to say my own car, Aston Martin.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That green with the green yellowish
It's beautiful.
finishes, looking very, very nice.
Matthew the Geke has just said, and he's corrected me, I normally refuse to call the Red Bull a Red Bull. I call it the Monster Energy car. Thank you, Geke. You have reminded me it is the Monster Energy car. The Red Bull is just a fraud. Oh, Hosman with a big step of oversteer, sliding out the second chicane. Sorry, the first chicane. Should we call that the Hosman slip and slide? That's what we're going to call that. Hosman slip and slide. Lorpy is just on the lap at the moment, heading. Going to be a happy man is our man Lawrence, and there's a collision with Fanning. So the two Alpine drivers were both on a lap, and they've both come into drama and traffic. I expect both of them will probably be saying something in the stewards' room later on, but we'll leave that be for now to avoid controversy. Hosman is on a 6-minute lap. Hold on, what? And now it's 25.0. That's confusing. Anyway. Who else on a lap? Doris is on a lap. He's 2 tenths up on his lap currently, which is 25.0, so this could put him top. Tom Brown, 24.6! You know what? Before the session, he was saying to me that he did not feel confident, he did not like this track, and he was not okay.
I heard that as well.
Yeah, and here we are. Here we are, Tom Brown, P1.
6.8 hundredths.
Tom Brown, P1. Doris, what can you do? 25.2, he lost it all in that final sector. It's a shame. Let's have a look. Genie! What can the genius Genie do? Let's jump on board with the beautiful Aston Martin. It looks like Sebastian Vettel's driving. With that helmet at least. So, Genie he's got his flap nicely wide open for us as he thunders down over 200 miles an hour into a very heavy braking zone, slams on hard, just hooks up the apex nicely. We can see very little from this nose cam apart from the road. Thankfully it's nice and smooth and we're not porpoising too much. So, Genie takes quite a wide line on this back straight here, bit of a weird one. Hosman, 23.8!
23.8!
Wow! Okay, he's just 8 tenths up on the next best time.
Almost 8 tenths.
That's the kind of time I'm expecting to see in Tier 1.
Very true. That was
the top end of Tier 1. Top end of Tier 1.
Do you think we'll get anyone remotely close to that time?
I hope so. Mornison's popped in a 24.7 and he's now finished for the day. What can Genie do as he approaches the final corner? Exit here is crucial. He floors it and he goes 6th. Mark H with a 24.5, a fantastic lap. Tom Brown's aborted his lap. Single track and Simba's just popped in a 25.1.
Brave out of the lobby loop. Spins.
Oh
with
no.
The fast sector 2.
Oh no.
That is very unlucky from Comi the Brave. That is his qualifying over.
Indeed. Single track is 10th up in the middle sector. We haven't got many people left on track. Yeah, go for it.
He's 17.
17? I was he'd been hoping for more.
He will definitely not be satisfied with that qualifying.
Single track goes P6 to 24.8. As you said, Call Me the Brave is no longer able to set time. He's just trying to stay out of everyone's way. Best as he can. It's very hard to. Lorpy pits. He didn't improve. Fire Rooster has invalidated. And I believe that is everyone. Yep, correct. We have our qualifying. So, Sander Hosman, aka S. Hosman, has taken pole position with a 23.8, 7 tenths ahead of his nearest competitor, Mark the Hodgie Hodgson, who's done a very respectable 24.5, but still such a huge gap. Tom Brown, a man who said he was struggling, 24.6, fantastic lap, followed by the other McLaren of Monster, Andrew, looking to really get the season up and running. Call Me the Brave, again, another of our reserves, showing that if you check in and race, you'll get your fair bit of airtime, so check in and race if you want to be involved. Genie, sorry, 6th of the track, P6 with a 24.8, Genie P7 24.9, Doris 25.0, RS10 25.0, Kelvin the 25.1. Then outside the top 10, we'll have a look in a second because the screen's disappeared, which is very handy.
I will say though, Calvin, who is
Calvin's lap there, 25.1, is a very good time.
It is a very good time.
1.2 seconds separates the top 10. Then you've got Simran P11, Law P12, Woomax, who's dominated a couple of the early races, P13, Dumbest Hornet 14th, Jacob the Fire J Cock Hen Rooster in 15th, Stubelicious P16 after taking quite an early stunt in the session of being quick. Only P16, he'll be hoping for a better race, as will his teammate Gatian. They had a fantastic showing in Brazil. Can they repeat that here? Fanning P18, Fox River 8, 19th, and Bit, last but not least. Right, Toby, we've got to make some predictions here. And last week, I managed to predict it correctly, and no one was cursed by it. But typically, this is where we curse people. So, who are you cursing or backing?
I have my eyes on the current championship leader, who is a reserve. It's Call Me the Brave.
Yeah,
He's looking very strong.
That's a fantastic point.
Across all three races, and I think he'll do a solid job here. I don't know if he'll take the win, but I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very respectable guy. He's a very quick racer, and as we've seen this season, he when he's here, he is quick and always here to give everyone a fight. So, obviously, we know in Abu Dhabi it doesn't rain very often. I jinxed it once by saying it would never rain here in Tier 3 last season, and then it did, and it caused chaos. So I'm predicting rain, and if it does rain, then Connor promises that someone will do something, which we're not going to say on screen, but it involves ice cream when it's not in its frozen state. So we'll leave that there. So look at the beautiful sunset glow that this race was starting. This, of course, was the first race to ever go from day to night within the space of the race start to finish. Of course, the first ever night race was Singapore, but this race starts in the day, and as you can see, the lights are on because by the time it finishes, it will be dark night. Hosman is on pole. I'm going to predict for the winner, because I've gone off topic, oopsie. I'm going to predict Dark Horse for the win today, Monster. I think Monster.
That is a very good shout, to be fair. He has been very consistent throughout, not only this season, but last season as well. I think he will do a solid job this race.
Indeed. When he stays out of trouble and drama, Monster knows how to get results. Pop up a YouTube chat and let us know who you think is going to have a good race today, or just say hello about whoever you're cheering on. Or just say hello. We're friendly. Mandy says hello. Connor says hello. A few other people in the chat. Steve J. Hello, Steve J. Go for it, Toby. What are you thinking?
Depending on what tracks we have had this far in the season, so Mexico, Kota, and Brazil. Mexico is the most alike to this track. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, definitely.
And Mark H won that race.
He did.
He can be a contender. He qualified P2, so he will definitely be a contender for that win for tonight.
Indeed. Former runner-up in Tier 2, of course, is Hodge, so he knows how to be quick here. It is worth noting that, of course, the strategy here, the easy strategy as always, how boring as it is to say, is the medium to hard or hard to medium. 29 lap race, so typically 12, 13 laps on the medium, 16, 17, 18 laps on the hard, depending on what strategy you're doing. Should be easy, bish bash bosh. You can try a soft medium hard, or soft medium soft, soft medium medium. If you want to be brave and try a two-stop, but you're typically 10 to 15 seconds slower in total race time. That said, if there's a safety car, don't be surprised to see all of the drivers on track jump in the pits, pop on a softie, and bash it to the end. But the drivers are now lining up on the grid, hopefully getting their grid spots just about right. So far, Simmer and Hosman have unfortunately just stepped the mark slightly. So watch them get reset, and then we're going to just mute the displays quickly. We will have the light sequence. Oh, we have a Red Bull driving down the track. Oh, now it's all good. Wonder if that was weird. Right, so the lights are on, and we are racing in Abu Dhabi with Tier 2. And a great start from Hodgie, a very good start from Hosman. As we just see into Turn 1 already, Monster at the inside of Tom Brown. We got a car round, there's a Ferrari, is that single track? Meanwhile, we've got Tom Brown fighting with Warnster. The podium positions, the Aston Martin seem to have had a good race. Single track is round at turn 1. Disastrous start for the Ferrari man.
30 places, with Lobby behind him, dropping 8 places.
Ooh, collision with Calvin for Simba has caused Simba to get a 5-second time penalty. Meanwhile, back at the front, Hoseman pouring into the distance.
Fox River 8 has gone around. He's now last.
Oh dear, Foxy Bingo has not had a good start to this race. The escapee from Fox River in Chicago has had, or was it Seattle, whatever it is in America, has had a nightmare start. Single track, another former winner of Tier 2, down in P18, he will be urging himself to get back to the front. Call me the Brave, by the way, very quietly up to P3 from P5 on the grid.
That is very true, to be fair.
Doris!
I also played Fire J Booster up 6 places.
The big gainer. Fanning as well, P6. So 6 places up even.
Very true. He overtook 1 person right now.
Oh, I'll tell you what, just looking here, Doris, 3 places up from his grid slot. He's all over the back of Monster, who we know has got some good pace. Who's all over the back of Call Me the Brave. I feel like we could be in for a little bit of a fight here.
It's going to be a very tight race, I feel like.
Indeedy.
Right now there's not much people that are too far behind. It's just that
The key battle I'm looking at here, we've just seen there's been a collision already between them, hence the penalty for Simba. I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm sure it'll be brought up in stewarding. But Calvin, the reigning Tier 2 champion, and Simba, the reigning Tier 3 champion, are fighting together on track. There'll be fireworks at the end of the race, there always is in Abu Dhabi. Will there be fireworks on track from these 2 very competitive races? Interesting as well, setup-wise here, there's obviously we know full well, there's so many ways you can go. You can go high speed, low speed, with regards to the drag. You can go the final sector, you need lots of grip. But the first half of this lap, you need straight line speed. What would you do, Toby? Just watching Gassian on Fanning, by the way. Sorry, go ahead, Toby.
Yeah, no problem. I think I would go for more high speed.
Yeah.
You can't really overtake into the last sector. I mean, you can dive bomb into a few corners, but I would take the gamble to be slower in the last sector and be fast in the sector 2 straights to make sure you can overtake people.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair comment. I've just seen Gassian get past Fanning for P12. Hoseman pops in the fast side of the race, which is currently 28.5, and DRS is enabled. Hoseman's round!
Hoseman's round for now the last corner.
No, he can't be.
Now down to P18. Thomas Hornet, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, Hoseman can't be. Oh, Thomas Hornet's a shame. That is a shame indeed. Stu dropped to P20, by the way. He's missed what happened to Stu.
8 spun.
Oh no, turn 1. That's not good.
Very close to Thomas Hornet.
Just look at the gap. P1 Hoseman's got a huge lead to McLaren of Mark H. DRS is now in action, of course, for any driver within 1 second of the car ahead. Trying to find someone whose flap isn't engaged. I think we've missed that. Oh, Fox River 8 has retired. Are we going to get a safety car? We are. We're getting a virtual safety car at the present. So drivers can drop down to 1/3 of their speed and maintain within their time delta. So we'll quickly just review the positions. So Hoseman and Hodgie retain their positions off the grid. We've got Mercedes McLaren top 4 at the moment.
Doris also have his place solid since the start.
Has. Doris in the Alfa Romeo standing in looks to have had a fantastic start to the race too. Let's see how he fares later into the race. Let's have a quick look at tyres. We haven't looked at the tyres yet, probably should have done. So, tyre-wise, we've got Fanning on the softs, only man to be on them. The hards Fox River was before his retirement, along with Stube, Fitz, Wemax, Calvin, Simba, Rooster, Tom Brown and Hodge. So Hodgie in P2 on the hards, looking very quietly, quite good actually, I'd say.
Looking very good. He's built a gap to Calvin Brave on the hards as well, so he will go longer and he will have the faster tyre on the end of the lap. So we'll see what he can do.
Indeed. Now DRS back enabled and the VSC is gone. So Oh, we got an Aston Martin round. Is that RS10? It is.
It is RS10.
Russia has gone round. Let's hope we can get that car going. Meanwhile,
see the fanning pitted for mediums.
He has. He took the chance to get a free pit stop, really. Single track making a move on Womack into the first of the chicanes at the end of the first DRS straight. He gets that move done, but Womack will now have DRS on him. Will Womack make a comeback into the Lorpy loop? It's a bit too far back for me, but single track without DRS is vulnerable. There is Womack's flap, nice and gapey for us. Lorpy's in close proximity too.
Monster is round.
Oh no, Andrew, no!
Get back going as fast as he can.
Yeah, we're just on board with Womack and Lorpy, and we can see Andrew, who's just dropped behind single track. Hopefully his tyres aren't too hot and he gets some grip for his final sector. If you lose it there, it's the worst possible place. It's just because of how many corners here are low traction, low grip corners. You will just lose the rear again and again.
Very
Disaster.
Especially when those high tyres get hot.
Of course.
Lose traction.
Indeed. Right, back to the front. Hoseman, wow, he's looking rather comfortable right now, isn't he? 2.3 ahead of Hodge. Not under any pressure. Hodgie, as you mentioned there, pulled out a good bit of gap to Cormier the Brave despite being on the slower tyre. Cormier the Brave is fighting with Doris now that Monster is not there to fight with them. And then just behind them you've got Tom Brown and Genie having a nice little fight as well. Here comes Genie, flap engaged, just ahead of them. We've just seen the distance Doris going for a move on Cormier the Brave. Doris on the inside and got through, just has Genie on Tom as well, so we've got two moves at the same time. Doris is round! Doris is round!
Doris. He had a very slow race up until this point.
He did, but here's the problem, if you make a move too early in that first DRS zone, you're vulnerable with DRS in the second zone. Tom Brown coming back at Genie. But on this occasion, Genie does hold position. He had good strength and speed.
Simba is going around Fire J Rooster on the outside.
Oh, Fire J's got it back. Sim around! No, he's not, so. Oh no, Tom Brown's round.
Tom Brown is round.
Oh no, Tom.
Oh, he had a moment. He's not really round.
Oh, damn, he was in contention for a good race, and of course he still is, because there's a long way to go in this race. I'm seeing the helicopter cam through this third sector, and it is stunning. Currently on board with Genie.
Beautiful.
Wow.
28.3 is a very good lap time.
Hoseman is now, he's pulled out another second over that lap on Hodgie. Another second. Hodgie's pulled out a half second on Cormier the Brave. So right now it looks like we're in potentially a two-horse race between Mark Hodgson of McLaren, the Iron Brew Papaya rocket ship, and Sander Hoseman in the Mercedes SLR McLaren. Actually, I can't call that. The Mercedes GTR AMG Black Edition Hyper Rocket weapon.
Exactly
thing.
that.
Yes, the love machine that is the Mercedes. So
Fire J was the biggest improvement in position change.
He is. Just a quick reminder for everyone. So 10 positions up, 15th on the grid. It's now P5. That's a very respectable change. Although Carl Eden's bit in the Haas, P10 started last. You know.
Very, very solid.
Sim is looking at Jacob. Sim is having a look on the outside into the Lorpy loop. Can he hang it around there this time? There's a lot of grip out there. Simba's got him. Oh, Jacob's coming back at him. He's had to bail though. Jacob just couldn't find the grip, and that's now cost him. Is he going to lose position? He does. Calvin now gets through as well. So Jacob's lost 2 positions in 2 corners. So yeah, single track's got bit. So's Monster. Oh, we've got to cut rounds. Womack is in the wall. That's a huge shame. He's got some ridiculous pace, and that was a disaster for him.
Gattian going on the inside of Fire J Rooster and getting that place.
What, in turn 1? Fantastic. Doris is there too, ready to pounce. Wow. I hate to say it, but a safety car right now would be very tempting for all those who are currently on the medium.
That is very true.
So let's look at the stops. The only drivers who have stopped so far are Fanning, who was on the soft tyre to start with, and Stoob. Stoob was on the medium to start with. He's currently on the hards. The hard tyre can go most of the race distance, but ultimately will have no pace left at the end. Not a grippy tyre whatsoever. Gassian not pulling away from Fire J Rooster barrier. So, our early predictions, call me the brave for yourself and Morningstar for me. Your predictions looking better than mine right now.
Osman and Markage.
Yes. Well, the gap's sort of stabilised there, you know. The gap's stabilised somewhat between the top three. They're not spreading as much as they were. Ooh, it's an Aston Martin. RS10. Rash has gone round again.
RS10.
Oh no.
They now go down to 18.
It's a shame. We know Rash has got some very, very good pace, but he's just struggling, I think, with the grip and the setup potentially. Right.
That is a big factor on this track.
Oh,
As
100%.
of other tracks as well. Setup is one of the most important things when it comes to racing.
I think we might be about to see a pass from a certain Aston Martin of Gene Genie on Call Me the Brave's Mercedes. Gene's got plenty of ERS and is now using it in bucket loads. Right. If I were him, I would just wait for the next zone, because then Call Me Brave doesn't have anywhere to fight back. He saw this with Perez and Hamilton yesterday in the real race. Hamilton defended from Perez for a couple of laps. Perez then decided to wait for this straight here.
Call Me the Brave had a really good exit through there.
He
I
did.
don't know if he can do anything.
I think he's held on. I think he's got enough speed on this occasion.
I think so as well, and he made it.
I have to say, I'll give him credit. Call Me the Brave defended from me for about 10 laps on Friday in the MRC X race in Brazil. 100% distance race, and he held me off for about 10 laps before I spun. I think he might be, but he held me off for 10 laps, and I then made a mistake trying to find an edge on him that I then spun. So he won that battle. Single track, mind you, he's just got past Jacob, aka 5J Rooster. Not sure what happened there. Maybe Rooster had a mistake. But single track's light. His DRS is flashing, so he's clearly putting everything down on track. He's not holding back any performance. There is. Calvin looks to be the most likely to get a move done out of all of them. I would say single track looks likely, but he's out of ERS. Although so Calvin's low. Could Gatian potentially on Simba? Both have a fairly equal amount of ERS. Let's stay on board. So looking back from Simba. So of course Simba's rear ends will not open up. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. It's a McLaren. It's Morningstar. He's just pitted for a new set of tyres and he's round at Latifi left. He's got it going now.
Is that hard compound? Very hard to warm up.
It is. Yeah, it is. Simba holds off well into the first of the chicanes. However, Gatian has got a hell of a run on him. The overspeed is huge. Is Gatian going to go around the outside? He does stick it there. Will he hold on? It looks like Simba's going to hang on. Oh, Gatian's got a great drive. There's a touch. The wheel's bang. Now Gatian's on the inside of the slingshot of single track. Simba just goes slightly wide but hangs on to position on this occasion. Gatian will be furious. He would have thought he'd have got the move done, but that collision between the two may have cost him momentum. He will, of course, have another go. Simba, currently on that harder tyre, will not have quite as much natural grip.
RS Dam and Humax.
Oh, we've got a collision. Oh, RS Dam is currently still in situation where he crashed. Gatian looks like he's going to get moved on Simba in the DRS zone with how close he is. The DRS is that powerful. They're talking about making the DRS less powerful next season because of just how beneficial it's been for some cars this season. Almost too easy to overtake.
It is sometimes, I do agree.
Well, I'm not sure whether they should make the flap open slightly less, shorten the DRS zone itself, or just, I don't know, I'm not sure what to do there. But, speaking of that flap, here comes Gatian. He does not go for the move this time. He does line the car up to get the exit through this two-part chicane here. Nice and neat. Simba's got great drive on the exit though. Look at that Ferrari roaring away. That could be just enough. Simba's got more ERS available to him than Gatian too. But Gatian is closing. Closing. Simba holds on. Simba holds on for another lap. Calvin, meanwhile, has dropped off the back of these two. He's got single track, keeping him very much busy. Talk us through the final sector on board with single track and Calvin, because obviously it's a very technical section.
It is a very technical section. Very easy to lose the rear end. You have to grab it left. last corner. Let's see what single track can do. And then into second gate one.
There was a similar amount of DRS. The rear flap about to engage on the Ferrari. Calvin not quite in DRS range of Gassian, unfortunately, which will make it hard for him to defend. Right. Here we go. The rear flap of the Ferrari has been opened. Can Calvin defend? Can single track get the move done? Calvin makes a slight left jink onto the inside, but holds position on the outside. Single track tries to run him out of road, but ultimately they both make it around the corner very neatly in the end. Calvin tucks in. Calvin's now got DRS. Here we go. Calvin, single track takes the inside. He knows how to defend here. Calvin wants the inside too. Gives him a little love tap for good measure. Both of them run deep. Single track very squirrely on the exit there, but just hangs on. Calvin will get another chance next lap, of course.
It's a very interesting move, because we do see them on two different strategies as well.
Call me the Brave, speaking of strategy, has just pitted. Tom Brown, track limits with our first track limit penalty of the day, 3 seconds. If you exceed track limits 3 times, you will pick up 3 seconds.
It is very interesting to see Calvin and single track fighting, because right now the hard tires are the better tire. They have been warmed up enough. They haven't been worn out as the medium tires. And it's very interesting to see how they fight, and if they even should fight, based on the strategy differences.
Indeed. Calvin and single track are both the 2 of the last 3 winners of Tier 2 are these two here. Calvin at the inside into the chicane. We saw an opposite of this last lap. Calvin was the outside car defending. This time he's on the inside attacking. He's got the move done. However, single track now will get turned to second DRS him. And behind him, Fajay Reese's come back into play as well. Martin just not close enough on this occasion, so Calvin hangs on. But Jacob suddenly looks very racy. In the Haas, just behind the Ferrari. So, our leader, by the way, you can't forget about the lead of the race. Hoseman has come into the pits at the end of lap 12. He's clearly sticking to his game plan. He's not deviating just because he's winning. He had a lovely lead coming into the pit lane, and he's followed in by Genie. He's also getting the stop done. Gassian's coming in too. So is single track, by the way, so he's clearly not wanting to fight Calvin much longer. He wants to play the undercut. A wise move. So Hodgie takes the lead of this race. Simba up to P2. Calvin's promoted to P3. Hoseman comes out of the pits just between Calvin and Fajay Risa. That's exactly where single track was, so that's worked out pretty well for him. He'll get DRS now on the Red Bull of Calvin. If he can clear Calvin quickly, which I'm sure with his brand new tyres, plenty of VRS and DRS, I'm sure he should have plenty of opportunity to. The next straight will be more likely, I'm sure, when he gets his traction out of the chicane. So, tyre strategy wise, you can see now Fanning's the only man left on the medium tyres right now. And that's his second, and he has another stop to do, because I don't think this medium's going to make it to the end. Who are you watching right now, Toby? Who is giving you the excitement?
Around Dhabi.
Oh yes, in the first DRS zone.
In the first DRS zone, he makes it stick, but let's see.
Ooh, Lorpy very aggressive coming back at him there. But
let's see what they both can do in this DRS zone. Lopi now has the DRS on Doris. Doris didn't have the exit he wanted. Let's see what Lopi can do. Not enough ERS. Doris have around 50%.
Yeah, looks like he defended that one.
Round the outside. At the Lopi left.
Can Lopi get a move done at his own corner? He's on the inside now.
He's on the inside.
And he's through.
Let's see what he can do.
Oh, but Doris doesn't want to give up. But he's going to have to, because he's going to run out of road. Lopi, what a move.
What a move to get the place back. P16.
Wow. We've got an AlphaTauri round at the final corner. About to see it here. Rumax, and he's just diving into the pits. I tell you what, that move from Lopi, wow.
That was a very good move to be fair.
Good call,
We now see
Toby.
Holzman going up to P3 from P4 after the pit stop.
Yes. We knew that with the newer tyres he was always going to get past Calvin. Nothing against Calvin, it's just new tyres are far superior on this game, of course. So, Hosman now,
One lap, they are very much faster.
of course, Simba is the next car for him, just a matter of 2.5 seconds up the road. As Hosman sets a purple middle sector.
Stube and Dumbus Hornet trade positions. Let's see what he can do coming into the next DRS straight. Stube is looking up the inside.
Steve will get DRS here, won't he?
Stube has a very good exit, just as equal as Hornet. On the faster tire though, not using any DRS. He's gonna stay behind for now.
Sometimes, just every now and then, it does work out to let someone drag you along. Use the DRS, save your ERS, and then go for an attack lap afterwards. Hosman, he's not waiting around, he wants to get on with it. Sets another fastest lap of the race. 1.5 seconds behind Simba now.
He gained 1 second on Simba last lap. That means...
So there was about 6 to 7 seconds gap between Mark and Hosman. We've got a yellow flag at the final corner. I believe is that Lorpy? It is Lorpy. Lorpy's on his new tyres and had a big spin. That is not good. But right now, Hosman's just 10 seconds behind Hodge. It's about 22 seconds for a pit stop here, I believe. So that means that Hosman's going to be roughly 12 seconds ahead of Hodgie when Hodge makes his pit stop. And that gap is dropping quickly. Hosman is now within DRS range of Simba. Let's jump on board with the Mercedes man.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. Simba has about 3 laps left on the strategy. If he goes for the conventional strategy, that is.
Yes. I mean, any lap now you could pit. Any lap now you can go on to mediums, or you can go a bit longer and pop a soft on.
Very true, very true. I think the medium one would be a safe option.
I agree.
Especially if there would be a safety car, which would bunch up the pack a bit, make it more interesting. Now there's a lot of big gaps, not a lot of DRS on this track at the moment.
Exactly.
Talking about DRS, Osman is now very close to Simba.
He is.
With newer tires, DRS, and less ERS.
I would imagine this is the formality, this move here. Here comes Hosman, the Dutch Dynamo, on his way down. He decides not to go for a move yet, so again, learning, as we saw in the race yesterday with Perez in particular against Hamilton, that first one is not necessarily crucial to get the move done as long as you can get a good exit. Now, surely, DRS and ERS in play with a big helping of a slipstream from the back of that Ferrari. Hosman goes to the outside. He throws it around the outside. He's got much better grip. Can he out-drag Simba out of the corner? It looks to me like he's going to. And look at him fly. He's out of ERS, but he's on the inside for the single track slingshot. And that's the move. So Hosman's just under 9 seconds behind Hodgie now.
That is very good driving from Hosman. My prediction, of course. Let's hope I didn't jinx it last few laps.
Indeed. So, the question is now, when are Hodgie, Simba, Calvin, Rooster and Tom Brown going to pit? Well, Rooster pits immediately. As we say that, those guys are still going on that hard tyre from the start of the race. They are continuing.
I had some technical difficulty.
Okay. Are you coming back? Are you just wanting to run away?
I am on my way back.
It's all good.
I hope.
No, it's alright. We'll fix this. Anyway, so Jacob, the 5J Rooster, P11, is on the medium tyre now, so he'll be very fast at the end. Something that Mr. Hodgson very much needs to think about. He's currently in the lead of the race by 8.6 seconds to Hosman, but has got to pit. So we'll just bring up the pit strategies quickly. So we have a few drivers yet to pit, which are Hodgie, Simba, Calvin, Tom Brown, and Bit. They are all yet to pit. When they do finally come in to change their tyres, we will see them all drop in the order, but they will all have medium or soft tyres to play with, and I'm sure come flying back through the field. So Position change. Currently our big winner today is Carl, as Hodgie comes into the pits in the McLaren. Right, is Hoseman going to take the lead? Of course he is. He's far within the range of the pit stop strategy. Does Simba pit? Simba also pits. Calvin also pits. And, oh, would you look at that? Tom Brown's also pitting. And Carl's pitting. So, all of those drivers, all of them decide at the same time, this is the lap. That frees up Hoseman. It frees up Call Me the Brave. Quietly having a fantastic race.
That means Call Me the Brave. And Hoseman is now in a 1-2 Mercedes.
Indeed, however.
One of the constructors that has won most times.
Indeed. So, Hodgie comes out, P4, right in the back of this train here, but as we do know, he is on the nicest tyres of this trio. He's on the brand new medium, they're on some used hard tyres, so he will come good. The other drivers on that train, Calvin comes out P7, Simba had to serve about 5-second penalty, of course that might get debated in shooting later, but it's now P10. Tom Brown and Bit are 12th and 13th. Friday Rooster was in that fight with Dumble 4, he is P8. Can Hodgie get a move done here? Genie also has DRS, but Hodgie's got nowhere near the straight line speed. Actually, look at Genie pulling away.
I'm impressed by the straight line speed of Genie.
It is, but Call Me the Brave has hung on to both of them. We'll just drop back. Gatian's a very lonely 5th place right now. Single track in P6 again, just on his own at the present. Then you got Calvin just ahead of 5J Rooster. They were fighting before the pit stops, they're fighting after it. Then you got a train from Dumbest Hornet, chased closely by Simba, Doris and Tom Brown. Bit rejoins in 13th, as we said. He's closely followed by Stube, and he'll be hoping to catch up with the guys ahead and have a little bit of fun.
Stube also needs to pits.
He doesn't need to, but his tyres will probably be dead very shortly, so I'd be surprised if he didn't. He needs a safety car right now, does Stube.
He really does. He really does.
Oh, we have a yellow flag. Where's that? Oh, Doris.
Last corner.
Yeah, we're just on board with Fanning as Fanning goes past him. Fanning up to P13. Doris, oh, sorry, Stu pits. So yeah, there we are. He'll be coming in for a medium on the short or soft maybe. We'll see how brave he feels. Lorpy in P19 at the moment. It's all gone slightly wrong for him after a great start. Genie moving on. Call Me the Brave. Hodgie getting in on the action too. Careful, boys. And Genie, unfortunately, didn't get the move on the corner Brave and then loses out to Hodgie as well. And even worse for him now is he's not close enough to attack Call Me the Brave. Hodgie's going round in for Lorpy loop. Can he get the move done? He can. Hodgie, the opportunist, getting 2 moves done in the space of what? Half a mile?
That's what 5J Rooster can do on Calvin here. Calvin goes a bit slow.
Indeed. Calvin's low on ERS again. 5J's also low, but not quite as low. Let's stick with the helicopter shot, watching over 5J Rooster. I love this. I love these helicopter shots from the new game. They're fantastic. Got a brilliant battle just behind, by the way, with Simba closely followed by Tom Brown and the dumbest of Hornets. As the day turns into night, this track is just getting a bit darker. The lights starting to glow a little bit more. It's very atmospheric, very the characters very much building on this track with the lights.
I do agree. Let me just have a shout. Gatian is perfect on strategy. He has gained 12 places in P5.
You know what? I mean, we will have a contender and a discussion at the end of the stream for Driver of the Day, but that is the kind of performance that gets you at least in consideration for Driver of the Day.
Absolutely.
Another thing that would get you in consideration is being 13 seconds clear of your nearest rival.
Also,
which Hoseman, to be fair to him, he's flying. Hodgie is on the nicer tyre, but frankly, he's got, in the next 10 laps, he's got to find 13 seconds. He's got to find over a second a lap in less than 10 laps.
That is very, very true.
What's
Tom Brown very close to see this.
He is Tom Brown going around the outside into the long Lorpy loop. It looks like Simba's got a bit ahead of him. Oh, RS10's gone round at the Hamilton hairpin, unfortunately. So we will continue with Tom versus Simba. Under the hotel into Latifi left. Ooh, very twitchy from Tom as he gets on the throttle a tiny bit too early. Don't forget to pop up in the YouTube chat with your driver of the day, or just say hello, or if your name is Joshua Manouche, make a rude comment. We're all here for it. It's all fun and games here at MRC. So, Monster, unfortunately it looks like I've cursed you again today, my friend. I do apologise. You can blame me. Put it in stewarding as my fault for whatever's happened to you today, my friend. Oh, no, it doesn't mean pit, mate. You don't have to pit. You stay on track. Stay on track, Maundy. Stubby with the fast lap of the race, 27.6. He's got a brand new set of medium tyres on. So, Genie's got past coming the Brave. That's the crucial part. Another crucial detail I'm going to mention now. Hodgie, we said he needed to find a second a lap minimum. Well, in the last lap, he has found a second.
Interesting.
It's still not enough, unfortunately, for that. I'm not sure, but Dumbest Hornet on 5G Roost is looking exciting. Who are you watching, Tobias?
I am watching Stu, and what's going to happen into the left-hander as it stands. We're very close to each other, so I was just holding an eye on them. Battle.
Ooh, Stu having a look though, he's clearly got a bit more grip on these newer tyres. Let's pop the tyre life back up and have a little look at that. Very few penalties in this race, by the way. Very good to know. Obviously, Simba had that 5-second collision one, then we've had Tom and Hornet both with 3 second for track limits. So, shouldn't change the order too much. A late safety car might though. So, Hodgie is now 12.1 behind Hoseman. That charge didn't last too long for Hodgie. He's found about a second and a half in the last lap and a half, so he is gaining. But he's just running out of laps, and I fear that his tyres will go off before Hoseman's might, the way that he's pushing. Genie's out of DRS range from Common the Brave, by the way, so he's looking good for a potential podium. They are. I've just noticed Stu's teammate Gatian's closing on Common the Brave, but let's jump on board with Stu and Rumax. Ooh, severe collision between Fire Rooster and the Hornet. What happened there? What happened there, boys? In fact, look at the damage to the front left of Dumbest Hornet's Alfa Romeo. Significant damage. As we see now, Fanning making a move through the two left. Not something you'd normally make a move. Dumbest Hornet struggling desperately for grip. He's going to pit. And we've got a car on the wall. Fire Rooster's out of the session. He's in the wall at the pit entrance. And that is a safety car. We're following the safety car down the pit lane. I've never seen the safety car drive down the pit lane before, but on board with Dumbest Hornet, and we can see the safety car on its way out. Wow. So, yep, we have the safety car. So, yep, we're seeing Remax take the chance to pit. We see the Haas just on the entrance of the pit. Oh, the RS10 with the drive-through penalty. He's speeding past the Delta time. You know what? The biggest loser in this situation, is Hoseman. He's got 12 seconds advantage.
Yep.
He's absolutely walking his way to a victory, providing nothing goes wrong. Yes. He's got the gap to pit. Oh, 100%. He's got to pit. He's got to pit.
Mark H can stay on the mediums though.
I would pit. If I were Hodgie, I'd pit. Because the guys behind him are surely going to pit. I would just simply mirror Hoseman.
He's staying out. He's staying out.
Well, I think that's bold, Hodgie. Because Hoseman's going to come out just behind you on so much faster tyre. There is Hoseman coming down the pit lane, you can see him. Everyone else is pitting.
Marquez has
he's gambled.
Position, but
he
is
does.
It enough on Abu Dhabi?
Well, we saw with Hamilton and Verstappen, I hate to bring up that 2021 race. But we saw with Hamilton and Verstappen, the track position for Hamilton just did not work. Calvin, Simba and Tom Brown also staying out. Bits stays out. So those guys all making positions. Will they keep hold of them? So that means right now, The one thing in Hodge's favour is Hoseman. The man he's fighting is the only man close to him on a better tyre. He's then got a 4-car buffer of Calvin, Simba, Tom and Bits to hopefully fend off Gene Corner Brave, Gassian, Single Track, Fanning, Doris and Dennis Hornet. Oh, and Sue, of course. We match the brand new set of mediums on, Monster with a relatively new medium, and then Lorky and RS Dan make up the back of the grid.
This is going to be a very, very interesting restart, especially the last 3 or 4 laps as we're going to see the racing go on.
Indeed.
It's going to be very interesting. Will Hosman get past Mark H, who has track position right now? We'll just have to wait and see.
I tell you what, the tyre advantage Hosman's going to have, plus the speed he's had in this race so far, I genuinely think, there's no disrespect at all meant here for Hodgie, but I think Hosman should be having this. That buffer of medium cars behind them should buy them both time to pull away, in theory. But we've seen it all before. This final sector here, if Mark H is smart, and I know he can be, if he goes very slow through his final sector, gets his own tyres warmed up and then goes very slow so everyone else's tyres are cold, he could buy himself a window of opportunity where other drivers then struggle to fight each other and allow him to pull away. His best bet is if Calvin reads Hosman better than Hosman reads him on the restart.
What you're saying is very accurate. We can see Mark H having an extremely good restart and Hosman sleeping. We'll see what happens. I hope it's going to be an interesting one.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. We'll get at least one more lap, maybe 2 laps of safety car. The last car, RS10, is only at the midway through the middle sector, or on that second DRS straight, as you can see on the map in the bottom right of the screen. So I'd imagine it'll probably be the end of lap 26, which means we'll get at least 3 laps of racing. Laps 27, 28 and 29. Of course, it's a 50% race compared to the full 58 laps you get in the real world of Formula 1 motorsport. Just a quick flick through the YouTube chat. So obviously, we've got plenty of you sitting here with us. Pop up and say who you think is going to make a late dash to the finish line to take the flag. Let us know. Is it going to be curtains for Hosman by pitting? Has he given up the lead and therefore the win? Or was it a brave and wise move that's going to pay off?
I think it's very interesting if Bit can hold off Gene for driver of the day. Very consistent driver.
Indeed. You don't have to be fast to win races or to pick up significant points. You do not have to be the fastest over one lap. You do not have to be the best at overtaking. You don't have to be the best at strategy. You just have to be in it to win it, and sometimes just to be consistent doing your own thing. So, Gatian, Bits, Simba, Calvin and Fanning all making up huge positions from their initial grid slot. Absolute testimony to that statement and to themselves. Just looking.
7.
Yeah,
positions.
7 positions. Huge gainer from him. Likewise, Gatian's gone from P17 up to P9. Bits, P20 to P6. Simba and Calvin shared the 6th row of the grid together, and they're now P3 and P4. Of course, Hodgie and Hosman shared that front row of the grid, and they are sharing the top 2 slots still. Is there late drama to come?
Let's see,
we've seen before, we've got an Englishman leading on older tyres, and then a Dutchman on brand new softs with a very small number of laps to go in Abu Dhabi. Where have we seen this before?
This is going to be interesting, just like the real life race, as you keep bringing up, as even though it hurts my heart, you keep
of this lap, I'm very sure. If not, I will be shocked and disappointed, frankly. Which means we will have 1 lap of DRS on lap 29. So, that means that laps 27, 28, no DRS. It will all be based purely on the speed, power, setup and ERS usage of each driver in a combination of that and what tyres they have got to play with. So just flicking back to tyres, just a quick reminder. Everyone is on new tyres with the exceptions of Monster, Bit, Tom Brown, Simba, Calvin, and of course your race leader, Mark H, who all stayed out at the safety car restart. Confirmation there for you, the safety car will coming at the end of this lap. So 3 racing laps to commence round 4 in Abu Dhabi. Hodgie already backing up the pack. I tell you what, the tyres are going to be cold, but he's look at him wiggling away, trying to get some tyre temps in there. That says to me that he's going to go as early as he can, but back them up, try and trick Hoseman to just, you know, not being ready to follow him on the restart. He's got to try and bridge as much of a gap as he can. Hoseman will have 1 lap pace on him at the very least, probably 3 laps of pace on him. And of course on that last lap there will be DRS, which will play into Hoseman's hands. When is Hodgie going to go? Come up to the penultimate corner. Hodgie was a little bit of a weave there. Hoseman, he's ready. He's almost alongside Hodge at this stage. They're looking back towards Mercedes from the back of McLaren. Hodgie's going right up to the final corner. And he's going. Here we go. Hodgie floors it out of the final corner. Hoseman is not far behind. Calvin also not far behind. The chasing pack of medium drivers are all close in contention. We've got an Aston Martin of Gini going deep into turn 1. Corner very close behind him. We've got an Alpine in the wall. Is that Fanning? It was Fanning. And what's in the pits? That's an interesting one.
It's a drive-through penalty.
Oh, of course, of course.
So he did fast as he could, which is very smart.
With the wise move. Gini's out! What happened to Gini? Oh, he's lost a wheel. And you just seen Monster drop down the order. Hoseman lining up Hodgie.
Hodgie, very late braking, very good braking from him. Let's see what he can do. The second DRS straight. Yeah, get Mark Hodgie. Gets very, very good exit.
He does. I'm just watching back from Calvin's point of view here. Hoseman's not quite close enough. Of course, DRS will come into play the following lap. But look there, Hoseman just has so much more grip through the Lorpy loop.
Hoseman is on the gearbox of Mark Hodgie.
Sander needs to wait. He needs to wait and play his time carefully here. He's got the pace in that tyre. I do believe he will get this job done. Unfortunately for him, he does need to watch out not to collide with the extra pace he has. It's very easy to then go into someone.
Very, very close. Hoseman going almost into the back of Mark Hodgie. Needed to
exactly
go off track to the left. You see how he goes now on this DRS straight coming up. At the end of sector 1, beginning of sector 2.
They come through the Bergen Bend to his turn 3. So many drivers lose it there, but no one in this race seems to have too much to do. Oh, Hoseman has a little dummy. That would have got Hodgie's heart racing. Here we go. This time he's a lot closer. Does Hodgie have the drive? It looks like he does. But Hoseman now reeling him in. Not using the ERS, he's saving it. He wants a big push next lap, doesn't he? Sends a little dummy shimmy.
Very, very good exit from Hodgie.
Indeed. I tell you what, by the way, Calvin sticking with these two nicely. The chasing pack behind are doing well. Gassian's the only ones who've broken into this medium pack. He's got ahead a bit, but even then, it looks to me like the guys on the mediums, they're proving me wrong here. The soft tyre is just not making up the ground it needs to.
That is very true. Can it be, even though it's behind...
DRS next lap could change everything. But on board with Hoseman. This is the fight for the lead. Doris and Monster both up with 3 seconds of track limit penalties. Fanning's out of the race. Oh, on the penultimate lap, coming into the second last corner. Such a shame.
He had a very good race up until then.
He did. It's a shame, but we need to stick with this battle for the win. The Dutchman chasing down the Englishman. Could this be a repeat of the 2021 finale and the real Abu Dhabi race of Formula 1? Hoseman just has a look. He's right up the gearbox of McLaren of Hodge. Can he get the drive?
Again, a very good exit.
But as we can just see, the rear wing of the Mercedes is open. Here comes Hoseman up the inside. That is position for the race lead. But Hodgie will now get DRS. Can he attack Hoseman back?
Hodgie also has more.
He's got DRS. He can't. Can he attack back? Here comes Hodgie. Has Hoseman gone too early? Hoseman's out of ERS. Hodgie goes to the right hand side. Can Hoseman hold on the inside? Hodgie's going for it. Hoseman's got the better tyre grip and just hangs on, cuts him off from the exit. Calvin will be watching behind, hoping for fireworks between the two. Hosman just defends on the inside of the end of that Singapore sling, the single track sling. Through the Lorpy left, this front three are so tight together. But looks to me like Hosman, unless he has a mistake here, looks to me like Hosman's going to hang on. And he does. Hosman roars over the line with the fastest lap for good measure.
Lap as well.
Hodgie takes it second. Calvin P3. Simba P4. Gatian takes up P5. Single track P6. Both making up moves on that last lap. Bits P7. Tom Brown P8. Coleman Brave unfortunately doesn't make positions. P9. And Stu, despite being so far behind, Prix safety car, takes that final championship point. Double points for the Williams team. Womax 11th, Dennis Hornet P12, Doris 13th, Monster P14, Lorpy P15, and RS10 Russia Rotterdam coming through the penultimate corner now. He will take P16, and unfortunately we have retirements from Fanning, Gene Genie, Firezo Rooster, and the Fox River 8. Unfortunately, late drama as always at Abu Dhabi. What is it with Abu Dhabi and late drama? It always seems to be the case.
It is always Abu Dhabi that has something in store for everyone. Whoever the day bit W, I do agree. Either that or Calvin, who comes out with the podium, gained 7 positions, comes out with P3. Very consistent drive from him. Very good drive from him as well.
Indeed. I mean, something has to be said. Hosman absolutely pole to win. The safety car at the end hid the dominance of him, because frankly, if it wasn't for that safety car, he'd have won by a long distance. You would say it'd be pretty fair to give that to him. It's an absolute dominance from the Dutchman. But
I'm very impressed by Bit. 13 positions gained to get P7.
Indeed.
Very good.
It's a tough one, because obviously, there's been such a huge number of drivers today. Bit, the biggest jumper, last on the grid to P7, Gasquet P17 to P5, and then of course Calvin P10 to P3, and Hosman with a dominant first place win, having led nearly the whole race as well. It's between those guys for me. Who are you going for, Toby? Who's going to be your driver today?
I want to say Bit, because he did an extremely good job. Gained 13 positions, but also Calvin P3 from P10. Very good drive for both of them.
Indeed. I tell you what, I feel like Bit's a very good candidate, but I also feel Hosman's drove that well, so it's hard to go without. So let's say it's going to be shared between Hosman and Bit. Let's share it between them. I think that's a fair compromise, because that's been a fantastic drive from them both.
Very good.
We don't recommend you going anywhere too soon if your evening's just been lit up with our firework display here in the desert. It's about to get that bit juicier, because Tier 1 action will be with you in just 29 minutes. That's right, we're back with more. If you want any more excitement, come and watch it at 9:15 British time. We will have our Tier 1 drivers to see if we can step up and deliver just as good a race as we've just seen from our Tier 2 boys and girls. What a drive that was from our race winner Hosman, and from all of our other races as well. Thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Please leave a like, drop a comment and a subscription in if you want to see more from us, and join the Discord if you want to get freaky with us, because we all like a bit more fun and games. Thank you, Toby, for your lovely joining of me on Comms today. It's been fantastic to have you. I'm sure we'll hear more from you.
I really hope so. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure was mine, my friend. But for now, thank you very much for joining, and good night, everybody.